Hey everybody, it's Karen from Waterfall Acrylics. How are you? I'm going to do something a little different for you tonight in a black negative space pour on a 16 by 20 Arteza premium canvas. Before we get started, shout out to Barbara for supporting my channel and a special shout out to Sarah Mack. Best wishes, get well soon, you're in our prayers. We'll miss you, hurry back, be well. With that said, let me get the camera set up and we'll get started. All right, looking good. So there's my giant canvas. I've already gone ahead and started spreading my black around everywhere. The pouring medium recipe, I'm back to my tried and true, my 4-8-12 recipe. Some of you may be familiar with. It's 4 ounces of water, 8 ounces of golden color pouring medium gloss. That's what it's called. It's not a very exciting name. And then 12 ounces of Elmer's glue wall, 1-to-1 ratio paint to PM. Except tonight I made my paint, I did the 1-to-1, but I have added water to all my little tiny cups of color here because I wanted my consistency thinner. I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of tilting. I don't want anything to go off the sides color wise. So I made them slightly thinner. It just kind of pours in or leaves just a baby mound before disappearing into the paint tonight. So a little thinner than what I normally do. Let me move the cup. So this color here is Blick Studio Acrylics in cadmium red deep hue. And then we have some Amsterdam acrylics in quinacridone rose, nice pretty pink. We have some Grumbacher Academy in cadmium red light hue. Ooh, this is going to be tight. And then finally, we have some Grumbacher Academy in cerulean blue hue. I was going to add yellow, and I chickened out because, you know, unless I'd have to be super careful sandwiching yellow in between these colors so it doesn't touch the black and turn to green. And I'm not gonna lie, I chickened out. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Oh, thank you all so much. I was very excited yesterday because I hit 25,000 subscribers. So thank you. To the new folks, the old folks that have been watching me for a long time, for those that just joined in. For those that have just joined in, I'm going to tell a story tonight, which I'm prone to do from time to time, whatever's on my mind. So, and because I'm not doing a bloom and sticking my head in my container, I feel like I can talk. So before I do all that, I'm going to go ahead and add my spot-on treadmill silicone to my colors, and I mean like a drop, because these are just, there's only like less than 2 ounces of paint in these, so definitely ease up on the silicone and give each one a mix. But I was going to tell a story a few videos ago about the pros of social distancing and my neighbors, because I'm one of those neighbors, like I know some of my neighbors, you know, but that was such a tiny baby drop. Let me do another baby drop in the pink. I don't know everybody's names, but I know all the dogs for sure. I'm like, you know, Coco's owner. That's how I refer to people, by their dog names. They're, you know, how I refer to the owner. I'm like, you know, that's Bailey, Bailey's mom. So anyway, a couple years ago, well, let me back up. I ran into a neighbor, and because of social distancing, we each stayed on our respective sidewalks and just kind of nodded at each other and didn't really talk. And I was thankful for that because a few years ago, me and this neighbor, and let's call her Betty. Betty and I would see each other occasionally, you know, walking our dogs or at the pool, and we would always chit chat. So we were friendly, but we weren't really friends, if you know what I mean, like neighbor friends. And I'm also reminded of this story too tonight because it's Memorial Day, so thank you to our fallen soldiers. And it was Memorial Day 2 years ago, when I bumped into her behind our house. Let me move my paint out of the way and spread my black a little bit more before I start layering. So let me go ahead. I was gonna leave it white in the middle and I just changed my mind because I don't think the black's gonna hurt. So I'm just gonna do this and then give this a torch. This is fairly thin too. I was pretty stingy with the paint on the canvas and had to keep doing this to get it to cover. Anyway, Betty and I ran into each other behind my house, and she had a new puppy, a Shih Tzu, and I had Dusty. Dusty's a golden retriever. And we're chatting and we're standing in front of a park bench because there's a playground behind my house. And we're chatting and the dogs are goofing off with each other underneath the bench. Or at least that's where the Shih Tzu would kept, you know, yipping at Dusty and would run under the bench because Dusty couldn't fit under the bench. And after a couple minutes, her dog, and we'll call it Bailey. So Betty and Bailey, I like that. I'm gonna go ahead and stick this right here while I layer. And I'm gonna put in just the smallest amount of black on the bottom of this cup, like this. And let me think about my order real quick. All right. They were goofing off, and then Bailey gave out this yelp. And we looked down, and at first we didn't see anything wrong. And then my neighbor, Betty, freaked out, screamed, because when Bailey turned its head, its eyeball had popped out. And she was like, oh my God, like freaked out. And not to toot my own horn, but she was kind of lucky that I am good in a crisis situation, because she got so hysterical about her dog that like she couldn't think. She scooped him up in her arms, but was just like standing there like screaming and crying and yelling. And if you ever seen the movie Moonstruck with Cher, where when she slaps Nick Cage and tells him to snap out of it, I felt like doing that. I didn't slap her, but I did grab her by her shoulders and like scream at her like, get in my car. She said, what am I? Get in my car, we gotta go to emergency vet right now. And you know, of course, Murphy's Law says that this always happens on a Sunday, on a holiday weekend. That's a rule. And that the vet's office would be a good half hour away. And I yelled at my husband, grabbed Dusty, he threw me down my wallet and keys, and off we went. And I don't know, the dog was definitely probably in pain. I'm just going to flip cup this and then pour black around it and give it a second to settle. And luckily, like, it was its right eye and I was driving, so I really couldn't see it. And it wasn't crying, but it was definitely panting, which wasn't good. And the woman was just beside herself. So anyway, we get there, and they take the dog in the back straight away, and the emergency vet, the on-call vet, was on their way, and they're like, you're not going to get to see your dog tonight, you might as well go home. And we're like, all right. And they're like, well, who's the responsible billing party? And the woman was like, I don't have any money. I whip out my credit card thinking, like, how much can this be? Right? Well, it was $2,000. Like, whatever. Put it on my credit card. I need to grab gloves. Hold on one sec. I forgot them. So we paid the bill. I'm giving you guys the Cliff Note version of the story too. We paid the bill. I take her home. She's hysterical the whole time. I'm just like swearing to myself because I'm like, calm the bleep down. Calm down. We exchanged phone numbers. I'm like, call me in the morning. Let me know what's going on with Bailey. and I never heard from her. And I finally got a hold of her like a day later, like 36 hours later. I'm like, what's going on with Bailey? And she made it sound over the phone like her dog was at death's door. Like they put the eye back in. They don't know yet if he's going to lose his vision, but he's lethargic and he's not eating and he's just going to die. And I'm like, oh my God. And like, wait a minute. I just felt like horrible all the way around. All right. I'm just kind of, I want some of this to sink under the black. So I'm going to lift up slow. See what happens. I kind of wanted some black in the middle. I might add black to the middle. Just for the spacey look. Gonna fake it. Anyway, her dog's dying. I'm like guilt-ridden. And I decided to go up to her house to see him, to see her too, and like apologize again. And I don't know what happened, blah, blah, blah. And I get there and she wasn't home, but she lived with her dad, and her dad was home, and he comes to the door, and it was, you know, it's the end of May. It was a nice night. The door's open. And here comes Bailey trotting toward the door, happy as all get out. Like tail wagging, all perky, bandage over the eye. Definitely not lethargic, definitely not dying. Looking pretty good. And I'm like, huh. So I say to the guy, like, how's he doing? And he's like, yeah, pretty good. He's gonna lose his eye. I'm like, oh no. Like, yeah, the sight's gone. The vet didn't get to him in time. And I'm like, oh, that's terrible. He's like, yeah, he's fine now. He has another eye. Which made me laugh because that's my sense of humor. And I'm like, all right. And then I called Betty like a couple days later, and I got the same guilt trip again. And then she tried to hit me up for the follow-up care because it was Dusty's fault, allegedly, as my lawyer friend likes to tell me, allegedly. And I was like, you know, I already paid the initial bill. I think I'm good. We really don't know what happened, so I don't really think you can blame my dog. And she got mad, and I've never seen or heard from her again. I think she moved away at some point, and I saw her the other day when she must have been back visiting her dad. I don't know if I like this or not. I don't know if adding that black in the middle was a good idea. Let me see how big I can make this thing that I'm making. I am hating this. Oh my gosh. This big of me. That was my story. My killer golden taking out the eye. Oh, the one thing is when I hadn't heard from her, I called the vet's office to inquire about Bailey, and they were all like, oh, sorry, we don't give out that information. And I'm like, well, I paid the bill. Like, what do you mean? I can't know. I'm the one who paid the bill. And they're like, oh, okay. And they told me they couldn't save the eye because it had been too long. And it was a shame because the vet who worked on it is the specialist for those cases. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, she's a veterinarian, an eye doctor? And she's like, no, those breeds are prone to have their eyes pop out all the time. All those breeds, you know, with the bug eyes. And I was like, note to self, never get a dog with those types of eyes. Because apparently, from what they told me, they pop out easy. And I was like, huh. I don't know. So I don't know if you guys could see me doing all that. I try to keep most of it in frame. I hate it. That's how I feel. I hate it. then maybe I swipe it and see what that does. Because that's just a mess to me. It didn't, I wanted it to sew up like it did on the edges everywhere and just be cells. And maybe I didn't get it underneath the black enough. I guess I could go again and see. I have enough paint and try. But I wanted it to float. Do I have enough black? Because it's really just a little, I can just dissect it right here, right? Yeah, let's do that. Let's try this again. And look at that, that covered it up. We'll just leave that right there. Since we're playing. Puddle right there, I think. Yep, that's what I'll do. And that saves me from wasting a whole bunch of paint, right? I'll just cover that up, and that could be my floater. That's where I'll put my cup. They will get, when I tilt, those will go around. So let me try this again. And we'll just try it in a little cup, like this. So I'm not, the only thing I'm wasting is a bunch of Artist Loft Flow Acrylic in the black. So let's put him right there. And let's try this again. It was funny that there are veterinarians that specialize in popping eyes back into dogs. I was kind of floored by that. That is not what I wanted to do. Over that too. Color. I'm going to end up screwing this all up. All right, let's lift this up so it floats up underneath. And go around like that. See, it looks a little more promising, but now I have to really tilt, so we'll see. Just to hit those spots where I scraped. Pretty much. And stuff here, but I'll worry about that in a second. Let's give this a torch. And do around the edges. Yeah, that's what I had in mind, like this stuff, like space. All right, let's move this around a little bit. I might I think I have enough black on here that I can operate against this part right here. And still have enough paint to, like, you know, move things around. So we'll just dissect that off. This part here too. Here too, I don't know if you guys can see that. A little bit bigger without going over. And just kind of make the cells a little bigger. The baby cells, some of the baby cells. So I don't like this, whatever that is, that can go. Stick my finger in it as usual. Let me stare at this. This. I like just all the cells floating in space. It's clean. Fill this in with paint. There's enough, plenty of paint. So I can do that. Now it's going to be a little lumpy, and the trick of this one is definitely going to be covering it to dry. Because you're kind of leaving a bit of paint on the canvas. That's why when I put my black on, I tried to do it as thin as possible. Let me stare at this some more for the compositions. I need to kind of step away. The colors are cool, the bright colors. I kind of want to go right here. Cells behind if I torched it. If I made that a thing. I'm gonna brave it. I could scrape it off and add black. That's my thinking. Let me torch it. If it looks too stupid or doesn't sew up, then it'll get operated on. Now, now I have Cromagnon Man. I like his head. Totally his head. And the jaw and the nose and the whole thing. That's Cromagnon Man right there for sure, without a brain. Oh gosh, that's hilarious. That was a total experiment. I'm not sure if it's a success or a fail. I'm gonna leave it and say ta-da. It's making me giggle, so I'm gonna, so now that I have Cromagnon Man here, instead of like the space thing that I wanted, I'm going to get rid of these extraneous little cells here, and probably, we'll see how dirty it gets, or maybe it won't, just a little bit. Take these off. They might smear a little bit, but I could touch it up with black. This is going to smear right here. a little bit. Get rid of that one, and that one, and that one. And there's none over here. I don't know if this painting will live to see the light of day. You guys might not get a dried result, but I'm gonna post this video because it makes me smile. And sometimes, you know, experiments go awry and it doesn't always work out, and that's okay because I had a good time, and that's what counts. So let me wipe off my spatula, nice and clean. I'll do that off camera. Let me get you guys down so you can see it the way I see it, and maybe you'll get a giggle out of this video too. It was worth a shot. It was, you know, definitely. And I went big instead of, I was going to initially do it on an 8x8, and I'm like, nah, let's go big. It gives me the giggles. Hold on one sec. Okay, I'll pop you guys down. This is Cro-Magnon Man. Like, I like some of the cells. They're kind of cool. The colors show up really nicely on the black. And doesn't it just look like a skull? Like I made a skull tonight. That's what I did. Yeah. It's not gonna live, guys. It's not gonna live. But it was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it and, you know, trying a failed experiment. I'll see you next time. Y'all take care. Bye-bye. Man did not live, obviously. That's what's left of him. I'm just gonna put a bunch of colors in and try one more time for something, anything. I'm forgoing the blue, broke out the yellow, decided to be brave. Am I gonna put black in the bottom of this cup? Yes, I am. Because if you're gonna be brave, go all out. Can you guys see that? Right, just a little bit of black to cover the bottom. Because I've been doing a really decent job of preserving all the paint I made, all the black. So I'm hoping for the best, that I can at least get some sort of painting out of this. Blue. I decided I didn't want blue. Together, they always make a pretty coral color. With the red, flip this over. Again. I'm not going to wait too long. I'm just going to go for this. This is... Like, you can't kick me out of the party. Lost the yellow, which is probably just as well. I was about to do my usual and put things on the corners, and I stopping myself. And ton of bubbles. I'm going to forgo the bubbles for a second and just move this stuff around. Because I do like my black I have in between the colors there. And I should have, I can have black corners. I can come back. I'll come over here. It doesn't have to go all the way because I like I said, I'll do black corners. everywhere. And just bring it down. Cosmic. Nebula, we'll call it. I'll be happy. All right, that's far enough because I want black, guys. I said, keep saying, I'm gonna put this yellow bright part kind of back in the middle as a focal point. It doesn't have to be exactly in the middle, but something like that. That is looking good. Make sure kind of in the center for you guys. I've given up, I think, trying to do short videos. Because like I thought tonight would be a short video, even though I knew I was going to tell a story, that it's just impossible. Like, it's just impossible for me. Kudos to all those other artists that can do it. I'm loving this. I think I might need to take some of this down this end a little more. Yeah, let's do that before I torch. Like, let me step back and stare. This is all great, but this is a little too plain. It's off balance. So let me swing down to that one corner and then we'll give a torch. There's paint there already, it's just black paint. So I'm gonna have to pour some of that off. There we go. All right, now let's take a look. I love the one big black cell. You guys, did you know, how many of you guessed that I was gonna turn the camera back on and keep going, right? Like, I know there has to be some of you who are like, oh yeah, she'll be back. All right, let me just, I have no idea how cell reactive this is gonna be. So I'm gonna play chicken for a second and take my black, what's left of my black paint. Do I have on my spatula here any? A little bit. If I wanted true black later, I can always touch it up, but just for now, I don't want any of the white canvas showing in spots the way it is. So we have a good representation of what this is going to look like. There, and then, oh, there's black on my tarp. Let me scoop that up. All right, I think I stalled long enough. Let's give this a torch. Maybe we'll get some yellow, more yellow to show up. Go up high, pop some bubbles. Trying to avoid the middle area. Like, I want to pop the bubbles there, but I don't really want any cells there. I'll try to keep my ton of bubbles right there. Oh, I got some cells. Oh, but they're pretty. I'm gonna leave. Oh, they're really, they're baby, but man, they're gorgeous. Hands are a mess. Let me stare at this. I've already stretched it out. If I tilt a little bit, it's going to be toward these two corners here. Not that I still want my 4 black corners, but there's an abruptness here. I don't know if you guys can see it, where it's like this purple black color and then black where I use my spatula to put paint on the corners. And I don't like hard lines like that. It needs to be a gradual smooth. But this is looking really, really pretty. Saved! Yay! Sorry, Cromagnon man. I'm cracking myself up. Yeah, let me go this way just a little tiny bit. and the other way, and I think I'm gonna call it. And this will get a ta-da. If I said ta-da to Cromagnon Man, you guys can like slap me or something, because that was a hot mess. Yeah, see, this is all stretched out, so all I can do is kind of wiggle back and forth to help some of these cells grow, and just not sweat that one corner. What the hell? That's like me being picky. And plus, what I can do is, when I get you down close to see it, what I can do is add black right there so it looks more natural. This corner's fine, the other ones are good. Yeah, really happy. Ta-da! That worked out. All right, let me pop the camera down and give you close up for reals this time so you can take a look. Okay, I'm back. I think I fixed my one corner. Just let me show you, but like, see where it's really dark back? I have a couple bubbles right there I need to torch. I ended up taking my spatula, which had like that purpley color, and just running it through there so it wasn't that stark, hard, and black. I don't know if there's any cells under there. Bubbles. Oh, look, a couple little baby cells right there on the corner. All right, so here's the rest of it coming up. So this is the, I don't know, I should go this way actually, because I think this is going to be the orientation. So this is the bottom of the painting and the cells with the rings, and I'm in love with the off-center yellow cells. And then where I didn't want to torch in the middle there, I got those really pretty pink ones. So that's great, and I know my camera is not picking up the difference between the pink and the orange very well, and there are definitely two or three different shades, because there's some red cells too. And I love this little swirl up here. Can you see that in the black? It's very fun. So let me go this way so I can show it to you up high and stop moving around so much. So you can take a look and then come down like this. So yeah, this whole part here with the yellow and orange cells and these guys in here, can you see the pink? Really cool. So yay, ta-da! Happy with that one. Made me work for it, but that first guy gave me a giggle, and that's what it's all about. All right, saying goodbye for reals. I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Hey guys, it's Karen. I'm back with the dried results of this piece here that I have named the Hubble, because it reminds me of something the Hubble telescope would find out in space. Really quite happy with this piece. I like the composition a lot. I love the fade out of the cells into the black. And let me get you in close. I like parts, let me see if I can do this without jiggling too much. Here where there are parts, I don't know if it's going to convey, where little specks of the blue from the previous failed pour of the Cromagnon Man showed up. I like that my yellow stayed yellow and didn't turn that icky green color. And my favorite is how it looks like it's layered in space up in here. There's a swirl up there too that looks like space that's not conveying on the camera. But overall, yeah, super pleased with this one. I'll have to decide if I'm going to resin or varnish it, but looking good. There she be, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.